dead. They put a crown of thorns on his head, and he was really God in the flesh.
Hello,
Yes, but people
this
really
is David
wanted
Branch,
to save.
youth pastor at the Bethel Baptist Church, Waxahachie, Texas. I hope you all are having a great summer, kids, teenagers. I'm inviting you to take 10 minutes out of your day every week for the next 8 weeks, July and August. Just got a few words of encouragement. And I couldn't get this done without some of my friends. So I want to say thank you to my friends who helped with these words of encouragement. Take 10 minutes, pause your video game, pause your movie, whatever you might be doing at this time. Text a friend, let them know that there's a word for you, a word of encouragement just for you. Again, just a few words of encouragement just to keep you motivated throughout the summer, to help you with whatever problems, issues. You might be having a great summer. You might be having a okay summer. You might say, well, I'm having a good summer, but it could have been better. What have you, whatever you might be going through. I just want to encourage you with this next video. So stay tuned. It's coming up 10 minutes in God's word.
Hey, how are you
God
guys
bless
doing?
you.
I hope everyone is doing
Keep
well. I'm Minister Leroy Brackens. I'm from the Grace Tabernacle Baptist Church here in Fort Worth, Texas. Shout out to Minister Branch for the invitation to participate in this summer series. Just got a little something I want to share with you guys and hoping it helps. Don't know what all age groups I'm dealing with here, but if you're transitioning from elementary into middle school into high school, or even if you're transitioning out of high school into college or into the military, or if you're, working, if you're transitioning into young adulthood, definitely need, something to kind of hold you while you're making that transition and while you're embracing the new place that God is taking you to in your life. I hope things are well with you. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I just want to get into this real quick. So just want to talk to you a little bit about three guys that you might be familiar with. The names are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay. We know them as the three Hebrew boys, right? So in Daniel chapter 3, it tells us their story. And of course, I'm going to the whole thing, but there are just a few things I want to show you guys that you may not have seen, or you may just kind of need a refresher on as you go to your next phase in life. So basically these boys, a little background, they were snatched from their homeland of Israel, and they were basically held captive in this land, which was called Babylon. And so they were in a strange place. They were around people that they weren't used to seeing. They were, witnessing things that being done that they weren't used to seeing done. There were gods being worshipped and served, and they grew up in Israel, the land of God's chosen people. So if you hear like the word Israelite, if you hear the word Jew, if you hear the word Hebrew, talking about God's chosen people, they're the people that God spoke his covenant with. If you hear, like sometimes you hear the older people, if you ever heard them pray to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Abraham being the father of that Israelite family that God made that promise to. So they grew up, reading the scripture, reading what was called the Torah at the time. They grew up worshiping in the synagogue and in the temple. And they were familiar with the 10 Commandments, one of which God says, you shall have no other gods before me. So to come into this land where all these idol gods are being worshipped and nobody is recognizing God as the one true God, it was a culture shock. What I'm going to say is the places you're transitioning to, you may be going to another school. Hey, you may be relocating to another city. My high school graduate, you're going into college. And even though you may not be snatched away and held captive, you may be going voluntarily. I certainly hope you are. There's still unfamiliarity there, right? You're going to meet people that weren't raised like you. You're going to run into people that didn't grow up like you, didn't learn what you learned, weren't taught what you taught. And they're going to try to tell you that what you believe and or what you think you believe is a falsehood or a lie. But what I love about these young men is even in their young age, they did not allow their location to change their level of commitment. And that's the first thing I want to say to you guys. No matter where you are, no matter where God takes you, no matter where life takes you, do not compromise your commitment to God just because of where you are and what you see and witness other people do. I know you hear your parents say it all the time, and trust me, the older you get, the more sense it will make. But stay committed in spite of your location. So they get to Babylon, right? Babylon's got this King Nebuchadnezzar. Woo! Try saying that 5 times fast. But he builds this, has built rather, this huge structure, this huge idol of himself. And he's so full of himself, he holds a worship service. And the rule is, hey, when the music starts playing, you got to bow down to this idol. If you don't bow down to this idol, then you're going to die in a furnace that is flaming with fire, right? So, of course, naturally, you hear you're going to be thrown to a fiery furnace. Nobody really wants to deal with that. So the music starts playing and everybody bows down to this idol. Hey, let me drop this in here right quick. I know that, again, I'm older than y'all, but I'm not an old woman. So I know I love music. I love all types of music. I love rap. I love R&B. I love country. I love electronic. I love disco. But I also make sure I listen to what is being said. Okay? When this band started playing, in their mind, in these people's minds, they automatically associated the music with the worship of an idol. Please, 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 young people, be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful of what you're allowing to enter into your ears, because what enters into your ears eventually gets into your spirit, and what gets into your spirit will eventually come out in your behavior. Okay. And idols don't have to be big statues. Idols can be video games. Idols can be your electronic devices. Idols can be trying to impress your friends. Idols can be lying about, something that you have and you really don't, or going somewhere and you really haven't. So we have to be careful, right, about the things. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your music, nothing wrong with, doing a little jig or, getting on TikTok and doing your little dance, but just make sure that, it's not getting your spirit in a place to where what comes out of it goes against God. All right. So they were committed in spite of their location. Now, then we get to a point to where we see that they didn't bow down. And a few people decided to snitch on them, right? And tell the king that, hey, they're not bowing down. Listen, there are people that are watching you, because they know where you came from. They know who raised you, right? They know what church you went to. They know who your youth pastor is, who your pastor is, who your family is. And they're just waiting for you to do something that they think is incorrect so they can snitch on you and smear your name. Don't give them the satisfaction. Do what is right, even if it means that they're going to snitch on you, even if it means they're going to take it to somebody else. Because as we're going to see, you're going to have the victory in the end, as these boys did. So they didn't bow down, and they went before the king and they said, listen, we're not going to be able to do this. We know who our God is, and that statue is not our God. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and accept this punishment. We're going to accept this fiery furnace, and we know our God is able to deliver us. And even if he doesn't, we're still not going to bow to your image. So not only were they committed in spite of their location, but they were committed in spite of their destination, right? They knew they were destined to go into the fiery furnace, but they still didn't allow that to hinder their commitment. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit. They get into the fiery furnace. And it was so hot that the guys that were throwing them into the fiery furnace died on contact with the heat. But if you read, they're walking around in the fire, and the king says, wait a minute. I thought we threw 3 men in there, but who is this 4th man I see? He looks like the Son of God. When you make that commitment in spite of your location, when you make that commitment in spite of your destination, God will commit himself to you in spite of the situation. They were in a fiery furnace, walking around loose. They didn't even have on the clothes that they got in there all bound up. But the king says, I see 4 men walking around loose. And the 4th one looks like the Son of God. So you want to be so committed to God. You want to be so committed to doing the right thing and making sure that you're associating yourself with the right people. They didn't rat each other out. They stayed together. Get you some friends, get you some associates, get you a Do y'all still say squad? Is that still the thing? I don't know. But get you a squad that is willing to stick with you in doing right and not only there for you when you're doing wrong, right? So God was committed to them in spite of their situation, so much so that when they came out of the fiery furnace, they didn't even smell like smoke. They hadn't been burned. It says not a hair on their head was singed. They had, they had a little swag coming out. And when the king saw what God had done for them, he automatically declared that the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is the one true God. Listen, you don't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to say a whole lot. You don't have to be loud with it. Just stand up for what you believe in. Don't be worried about the consequences. And know that God will be with you. And not only will you see him with you, but everyone else will see him with you. And you have no idea who's going to believe that God is truly God because of what they saw in you. Commitment in spite of your location. Commitment in spite of your destination. God will commit to you in your situation. And then somebody will know that God still reigns. I hope you are blessed. I hope you are helped. I hope you are strengthened. And I wish you all the best things as you venture into this upcoming school year or to your next phase in life. God bless.
So the angel came to Joseph and told him to go to Egypt, and he did, but he fled and went to Nazareth where he lived in order that the prophecy be fulfilled.